Bernie Sanders had an amazing haul. Bernie Sanders raised over $34.5 million in the fourth quarter. Bernie Sanders has crossed a threshold of over 5 million individual donations. To better explain this all to you, just what this means for the Bernie Sanders campaign, I have a clip of Bernie Sanders doing just that.
Let me thank all of you for volunteering and working so hard on this campaign. And you know, and I know, why we are doing what we're doing. We are in an unprecedented moment in American history. We have the most dangerous president in the history of our country in the White House. And together, for our kids, our grandchildren, for our generation, we're going to do everything that we possibly can to defeat this president and to transform our country so that finally we have an economy and a government that work for all of us and not just the 1%. And the reason that I am confident that we are not only going to defeat Trump, that we are going to win the Democratic nomination is because of your efforts and because of the efforts of hundreds of thousands of volunteers all across this country. I know some of you are retired, some of you are going to school, some of you are working 40 or 50 hours a week, and despite all of that, you're putting in time to volunteer for the campaign. And I just want to tell you on a personal level how much I appreciate that and why it is because of your effort that we're going to win this election. So I want to say a special thanks to the event support team. Guys, thank you very much. For the event moderation team, for the data entry team, for the advanced call team, for the social media team, for the friend-to-friend support team, for the out-of-state support team, for the help desk, for the call team, for the text team, and for all of our amazing team moderators who are putting in just such wonderful work every single day. So once again, as we end the year 2019 and we head into election year, thank you so much for all that you're doing. And let's go forward together. And you know what? Don't tell anybody. We're going to win this thing. Take care.
Anyone else notice how many teams that Bernie Sanders listed there? It was about 8 teams that Bernie Sanders listed as being an integral part of raising this record amount of money with a record number of grassroots donations. I just want to make sure that we're very clear on how this is able to be done. It's able to be done because of a number of people, individuals, pooling their resources together, not just money, but volunteers as well. Volunteers and staff members across multiple teams in order to create a movement. 5 million individual donations is a record-setting amount of donations. Individual contributions. It's amazing, guys. It's something that we should all feel very proud of. We should all feel inspired by it because those are individual people. Those are individuals across this country who put stock in this revolution, who see the ultimate goal. Now, let's break down a little bit more about the fundraising numbers, just so you know exactly what we're talking about here. All right, what do you think the number one occupation of the donator for the Bernie Sanders campaign in the fourth quarter was? Go ahead, shout it out. What do you think? Put it in the comment section. What do you think the number one occupation of a Bernie Sanders contributor was? If you said Wall Street exec, you'd be wrong. What about oil baron? Nope, not oil baron. I don't know. Mortgage banker, mortgage broker. Rich bastard retired on the beach, stashing their money in the Cayman Islands. It's not really an occupation, but man of leisure, woman of leisure. Now, see, none of these occupations are the predominant occupations of donators to the Bernie Sanders campaign. The number one occupation of a contributor to the Bernie Sanders campaign is a teacher. Chew on it. Chew on it, corporate media. Chew on it. Just take a bite out of it and just chew it. Just in your face. In your face, y'all. In their face. You feel me? Now, teachers, that says something about the fabric of the people, how can I say this? The motivation behind the worker, behind the individual giving the donation. It's a person with who makes a modest living. We all know our teachers are underpaid, right? We all know that. It's the reason why our teachers, the profession as a profession, less people are entering the field because it's so challenging. We hear story after story of teachers having overcrowded classrooms, not having the resources in order to take care of their own children, let alone our children, when we send them to the school.
I'm not rich. This is the sacrifice for me. I am not getting paid while I'm out here.
It's about class size reduction. In other words, hire more teachers. We want to have fully staffed schools. That means librarians, nurses, psychiatric social workers, and their interns. We have 46, 45, 50 students in a class.
Part of the reporting practice when you make a contribution is they ask you where you work at. What were some of the places, names of companies that people worked at who contributed to this campaign? Goldman Sachs. No. Not Goldman Sachs, no. Chevy Chase. Anybody says Chevy Chase? NYPD. ICE, baby. No. The most popular places of employment were Walmart, Starbucks, Target, Amazon, UPS. These are working people, ladies and gentlemen. Working people trying to survive in an economy that's pitted against them, where the rich get the tax breaks, the working people get the shaft. Okay? These are the people that support Bernie Sanders' campaign. Still, somehow, that campaign managed to raise more than any other candidate in the field. But they want to tell you there's no momentum. They reluctantly, begrudgingly, finally force themselves to admit that Bernie guy's got a shot, guys. Yeah, Johnson, he might actually have a shot at winning this thing. Seeing as though he's got more volunteers and more donations and raises more money and has more momentum and is polling very highly in all of the upfront states. Maybe we have to admit that maybe just possibly, if the wind blows just the right way at the proper time, he might have an actual opportunity to secure the nomination. So when we talk about how great Bernie Sanders did, let's put it in the context of the other people running, because it's all on a curve. It's all based on what other people did, right? You know who else did a pretty good job at fundraising? Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang had a good showing as well. Yang's campaign said Thursday that they raised more than $16.5 million during the fourth quarter. They had raised only $10 million in the previous quarter. Now, I say only, but that's no small amount. Okay? So, Andrew Yang and the Yang gang did a good job. They some reason it's resonating. Same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden raised more money than he's raised before in this campaign with a whopping $22.7 million fundraising haul for the fourth quarter. Now, this is a bounce back for Joe Biden, who had dropped to only $15 million last quarter. All right. So the thing about the Bernie Sanders fundraising It's not just the amount of money, it's the individual donation. So once again, Bernie Sanders had an average donation of $18. Now, I did a show last week where I talked about the freedom that you have when you have a lot of people who give you a little. See, when a lot of people give you a little, you're beholden to a lot of people, but no one person, no one attitude should dominate you, right? So I use my own analogy. I have people all the time who write me because they're pissed off because I criticize one of their commentators that they really like, Jimmy Dore, for instance, because I disagree with him about Bernie Sanders. Have defended him many times with other people. They love that, but when I disagree with him on something, then all of a sudden, they want to pour their donation. Well, luckily for me, these people give like $2. My average donation is $2 or $5. So it won't stop me from calling out even someone who I consider a friend when I think they've gone too far and no one else is calling them out. Or those people who support Tulsi Gabbard who don't think it's fair for me to disagree with her. Though I've defended her many a time. We know when people are really attached to a candidate, they really believe in them, they're going to be very sensitive. So the beauty of it is that the Tim Black Show, average donation is like $5 or $6, man. So when these people pour their donation, the show doesn't go away. So it's important that a candidate not be beholden to big money. And this is the thing they get wrong all the time, guys. We have to speak truth to power, even if we're wrong sometime. Even if you're wrong sometime, you got to be able to have the ability to go at it. I was listening to a clip of Dr. Cornel West this weekend. It was a PBS clip with, I think it was Steve Abatu. And Dr. Cornel West, I don't want to get this wrong, but he said something like this. He said, some politicians are like thermometers. Thermometers tell you what the temperature is and they respond to it. Bernie Sanders is a thermostat. He controls the temperature. So that's the kind of person you want, a person that's going to lead. And you're able to lead. You're only able to lead if you're not beholden to big money interest. And when you are beholden to big money interest, all you're ever doing, all you will be doing is checking the temperature, Johnson, going, I don't know if I can have this opinion. I need to make sure I can have this opinion because I need to keep my lights on. So let me make sure, do I think it's okay that Palestinians be treated like people? Let me make sure now. I wouldn't want to, is it okay to, is it safe to say like maybe Israel has undue influence on this country's politics? Maybe is it safe to say that? So, I think you get the point. Just constantly, people are comparing Elizabeth Warren to Bernie Sanders. If they're so similar, and their policies are so similar, and their structure and everything that drives and motivates them is so similar, why is it that Bernie Sanders doubled her fundraising? I mean, Senator Elizabeth Warren raised $17 million. Now, I'm not saying that's not a lot of money. That's a hell of a lot of money. $17 million in a quarter is an amazing amount of money. It's $1 million more than Andrew Yang, who never ran for anything ever before. But it's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. But it's only half of what Bernie Sanders raised. Why is that? Why is that, Wolfpack? Why is Elizabeth Warren somehow not resonating at the same trajectory as a Bernie Sanders? We're going to talk about that a little bit more in the next segment. But fundraising is a key indicator of how well your message is resonating, because when it comes to working people, and I'm not talking about people who spend money on crazy stuff, who just have money to burn. I'm talking about the 1%. I'm not talking about the people in the wine cave. I'm not talking about wine cave, attendees. But working people, hey, you want to know how somebody feel about you, ask them for some money. Working people will let you know how they feel about you right there. I know whenever I ask people, like, I come from a working class background, man. Anytime I ask anybody for anything, it's always got to have that talk. Like, Dad, like, my car broke down, Dad. I want to know, can I borrow $50 to get a spare tire? Just $40, give me a spare tire. Maybe $30. I just need a spare tire. Sit down, son. Let me talk to you. Sit down. Uh-oh. We gotta have a sit-down talk for $30, $40. You understand what I'm saying? Now listen, I'm gonna give you this, but you need to understand. Don't play with me about my money. I need my money back. Hey, whoa. Sis, I'm gonna need the money back. Okay? I got you right now. I got you right, but I need you to, because working people have a relationship with money, a very close relationship with money. Some of us are too distant relationship with money. But you understand what I'm saying? So that's the reason why fundraising is so important. Bernie Sanders killed it. He killed it. They're not going to report it that way, Johnson. They should report it that way. He blew them out of the water. I just want to stress upon all of the Wolfpack. Do you imagine? Can you imagine? Close your eyes and imagine the thunderous applause we would hear coming from the rafters if this was Elizabeth Warren raising $34 million. Oh, they'd be calling Bernie to drop out. Oh, gee willikers. Fiddly sticks and moondrops. Milk that head, Tim Black. Oh, Tim Black. There you go, talking about me again. I'll have you know, I would never call for Bernie to drop out. I would suggest maybe he should drop out. But that's only after. It's only after everyone else called for it, because I would never go on a limb. But I want you to think about it for a minute. If Bernie Sanders, if this whole thing was reversed and Bernie Sanders was beating her in the polls, if Elizabeth Warren was beating Bernie Sanders in the polls and she had just doubled her fundraising, they would be talking like, hey, it's over. Why are we still talking about Bernie? Bernie, get out of this race. You know it and I know it. That there would be a call for Bernie to drop out. They would say that Putin is keeping Bernie in the race. They would say that Bernie is working on behalf of Donald J. Trump. Oh, come on, guys. You know what they do. But since it's Elizabeth Warren, who's dropping and sliding in the polls, she's sliding in the polls like she got butter on her heels. If it was, Bernie Sanders, it'd be a whole different story. He doubled her in fundraising. Folks, I just want us to always keep a clear vision of really what's going on here and the hypocrisy level of not only the candidates, the DNC, but also, most importantly, most especially, the corporate media that covers this stuff. And I want to remind you why you tune in to shows like the Tim Black Show, even when we come in the daytime and drink coffee. Because we call it straight, Johnson. Part of our job is not just to talk about what's being said, we talk about what's not being said. Because therein lies a lot of the truth that we need to get to.